everybody, so you probably saw me talk about this on my personal channel. We did an interview with Sean Ramjagsingh, aka Rammer. He's the producer of all the NHL video games. NHL 18 just came out. I didn't upload this video sooner because it required significant editing, and there's a couple things there. One, the audio skips back and forth, and that's my fault. It's just a lack of foresight, and it's not that bad, but you will notice it, and I'm sorry in advance. Two, my grand vision for this would be that we would play the game, and we would upload that footage, and it would go along with our interview, but unfortunately we weren't able to get any of that footage, so the interview would just be me and Sean facing away from each other. We'd just be both looking at the screen. Not to mention we're talking about a video game that you can't even see, so I had to cut out all of that stuff. So it's gone from a little over 40 minutes to about 27. It's also opened my eyes to, I need to get Final Cut. I can't be editing on iMovie anymore. It's just too limited. It's fine for LFR videos, but when you try to get a little more complicated, it's got its limitations. So, I'm making it sound like crap. I think it's actually pretty good. Here is my interview with Sean Ramjagsingh, and here's me a few days ago introducing it again. Or shouldn't it be for the first time? Here's the video. We're here on a makeshift, I don't even know what to look at. I don't even know which one to look at. We're here on a makeshift Panago Pizza Steve Dangle podcast. Yeah, just pan. Let's pan. There we go. This is like hockey night in Canada craziness. We're here with Sean Ramjagsingh, and he's obviously the creator of NHL 18 and all the NHLs. For how long have you been doing this for?
NHL 09, Dion Phaneuf on the cover. Was my first year out NHL, but been at EA making games since 2000. It's a long time. Jeez.
And Jesse's here too, and he's fiddling with all the technology. It's going really well so far. We're gonna play NHL 18 today, and I'm really excited about that. This is like one of the things on the hockey calendar I always have marked down, and I never know when the email is gonna come, and it finally came. It's here. So we get to play it today. You want to just start?
Let's do it. What are we playing? We're playing threes? You want to play?
100% we're playing threes. Okay. Well, I need to know what, like, okay, when was threes first introduced? I think that was right around the time you joined, wasn't it?
So we did 3-on-3 arcade right after NHL 09. We started making 3-on-3 arcade.
Right, and that was the big hits.
That was the massive hits, and the power-ups, and the big heads, and the little goalie, and all that.
Small goalie.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that was the first time we put threes into the game. But it was standalone on PS4 and sorry, on PS3 and Xbox. But it wasn't part of the disc, so it was a separate game itself.
That's right. My friends and I like still play that.
Really?
Yeah, honest to goodness, still play that, and every year. Like whenever I told them I was coming to these events, like, is Big Heads coming back? Is 3-on-3 coming back? I could at very least tell them, okay, not Big Heads, but we got mascots.
We got mascots in there, yeah. And a lot of what you see in threes was inspired by that. The feedback we got, and people have been asking for 3-on-3 to come back for years and years and years and years, and so the time was right to bring it back.
For the podcast, we were talking about what the power chair is. You have the power controller.
Oh, you need to hop in first, actually.
Oh, I gotta turn it on. Yeah. You know how I know I'm about to get my ass kicked? I don't even have the controller on. Who should I be? Zach P.
Zach P.
Yeah.
Are you taking Leafs?
Should I do Leafs or mascots?
You go mascots? I can go mascots versus mascots if you want to go mascots.
I want to do mascots versus mascots because I haven't done this yet.
Oh no?
No.
All right, I can tell you after you score, if you press triangle, your signature celebration in there.
How did you decide what the stats were for the mascots?
A lot of research. Yeah. A lot of like detailed research. We scout out the between game periods, kind of see who's doing what out there, and it's scientific, extremely scientific. Oh yes. Ooh. So you've been playing a little bit.
A little bit. What's the feedback been on the trainer?
Really good, actually. Especially, so a couple things. With threes, we wanted to create this kind of pick up and play experience and make it less intimidating for people, and mascots are a big part of that. And also for people coming back, we wanted to teach them how to play the game. So many people are, still intimidated by the controller and all the buttons and the complexity of some of our sports games, and so the trainer was an opportunity for us to kind of bridge that gap and teach people how to play. So it's been really, really positive.
So exactly how much time have you spent playing NHL 18?
I played a fair amount. Plus, when we're making the game too, you play so much, right? Just every night you're playing it, especially down the stretch, just to dial it in.
What are your favorite games to escape NHL 18, or do you ever do that?
I do. I like to play as many as I can. So Last game I played a lot, I loved Far Cry 4. I'm a huge Far Cry fan.
Wish Adam was here. He loves Far Cry.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I spent hours and hours every night just hunting. I was like, what am I doing? I love Grand Theft. Playing some Overwatch right now too. What else do I like? I'm a huge Fallout fan as well.
Nice.
How about you?
Honestly, it's mostly Chell, which you couldn't tell by my defense right there. That was terrible. It's mostly NHL, a little bit of Halo, a lot of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
That's another one of those games, like you were saying, where like you were done actually playing the game a solid 2 hours ago, and you're like, I should probably just go to bed.
Yeah.
Now I'm just murdering civilians.
Yeah, try playing as many games as I can, just get a feel for what other sports games are doing, other games other genres are doing as well, and a lot of times just good, like from a video game perspective, just good practices in terms of design and creating compulsion loops and things like that. You can learn a lot from. So,
What's your favorite other sports game?
Yeah, probably FIFA. I'm mostly NHL though for sports games. Mostly NHL. I play FIFA. I've been playing a lot of Madden this year. More Madden than I probably played in a long time this year. With their first year on Frostbite and their story mode, and working through that right now. Oh, Finn!
Did you do anything in the video game industry before that?
So yeah, so I started off in 1999 working at a small company called Radical Entertainment in Yaletown down in Vancouver. I was working on their basketball game at the time. They had the NBA license, and then they had lost the license in 2000. I went over to EA, who had just got the license for NCAA basketball. So I worked on college basketball for a good 3-4 years, did a little bit of work on NBA, did some kind of random stuff. I actually brought one of my projects was to put the retro titles, like NHL 94 and FIFA, into the last version of the PS2 games. So I did that for a little bit, and then first opportunity I got asked to, at a Canucks game actually, the guys came over and asked me if I wanted to work on NHL. A few drinks may have been involved at the time, and I said yes at the moment, and like hopefully tomorrow they remember this conversation. And next day they were like, yeah, you want to come come work on NHL? I said absolutely. So
you drunkenly agreed to take part of the franchise.
So for the record, I was not drinking, but there may have been some drinks being consumed by the others that were there.
Okay.
But yeah, so the next day they offer stands, and I had one conversation to have, and the rest is kind of history. I was on there, and I've been a diehard hockey fan all growing up.
So you've been a Canucks fan your whole life?
Yeah, I've been a diehard Canucks fan my entire life, and so the opportunity to kind of work on hockey and work on a team that's making hockey in Vancouver is also just a huge plus for us, because everyone there just obviously follows the sport itself and loves the game too.
What's it like being a Canucks fan right now?
You know what? It's interesting because there's lots of optimism right now around the future, especially after seeing what some of the other teams have done, like the Leafs, in terms of sort of rebuilding. And the Canucks have some talent if it all kind of pans out. There's a lot of upside there, but good interest right now. Just kind of watching the young kids play. They just got through the Young Stars tournament in Penticton, and some of the guys showed their stuff. Brock Besser is going to be a very good player for us. The signing of Horvat's pretty exciting. Goldobin coming up, and Thatcher Demko, and so lots of pieces in place. It's just as you know, just they need to all pan out, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I can't even tell you the amount of times I'm like, this is when the Leafs comeback starts.
Yeah.
And it only just started now. But I tweeted this recently because I've given the Canucks a very hard time for a long time. If they really fully commit to our rebuild, I think they'll be sick.
And then they make some veteran signings. You're like, are we really fully committed to the rebuild? Or are we not fully committed to the rebuild? So we'll see.
It reminds me of a couple years ago. They signed like Mike Santorelli and David Booth and Sean Mathias, just basically all these mercenaries. I kind of call it Leafs reach, because they were never meant to survive. It was just there. They were basically in charge of making sure Master Chief made it.
Right.
And Master Chief at the time was William Nylander. And now they got a whole team of Spartans.
Yeah. I mean, we signed Vanek, Scotty Upshaw, so people start to question whether we're all in on the rebuild or not, but we'll see. They make the team. I'll tell you this though, watching some of the young kids play the end of last year when they got some time. It's been a long.
Oh my God! I'm getting stomped.
Finn is tearing you up right now.
Jeez. What is this, first to 7?
First 7, yeah.
Oh, and we got Money Puck on?
And Money Puck.
Oh, so tell me about that. When did you decide to put Money Puck into the game?
Yeah.
And also, what is Money Puck?
Yeah, so we put Money Puck in really late, and so I'll explain what it is in a second. But so we get to Alpha, which is when all the features are in the game, not necessarily tuned or all the bugs are out of the game, but you can play the experience from front to back and all the different modes and everything, all the gameplay. And we're playing 3s, and we're like, there's something just missing from the experience. Or it was fun, but there was something more that we could have added. And we were trying to, the way that we described it was like, what is our version of the on fire moment from NBA Jam? Like, what is that kind of game within the game, that kind of heightened moment that we can create? And that's where Money Pucks came from. So Money Pucks is this concept of you can play to a set score as opposed to playing periods. And then every puck has a different value. So standard puck, you score a goal and it counts for 1. You can have a +1, +2, +3. So +3 means you're going to score. If you score a goal, you get 3 goals, the equivalent of 3 goals. And there's also minus pucks as well. So if I score on a -3, as an example, my team gets 1, and the opposing team
loses 3.
Like you just lost, I think 2, I think.
Yeah, luckily I got nothing left to lose. I'm losing 5-0. It's funny, I saw a few complaints on Twitter like, oh, what do you think of the stupid Money Puck thing? It's like, pisses me off that I score goals and then they get taken away. I'm like, well, that's kind of the point, man.
Yeah. That's kind of the gameplay. You can also just play periods if you don't like the Money Pucks.
Yeah, you can take it off. It really creates opportunities for crazy comebacks.
Yeah, so it's funny because when we were playing, we had different. Oh, there you go. Oh! People at different skill levels playing the game too. And you got up 3, 4, 5-0, and then you're like, okay, this game's done, let's start over. But with the Money Pucks now, you get a -3 Money Puck, you score the next goal, and you're right back in it.
I didn't even get into making video games for a living.
It's funny, so I was playing basketball with Simon Fraser. I was there from like 93, 98. At the time, EA was just kind of getting off the ground a little bit. And so we started off in the summertime. They called us up and said, hey, we're working on a basketball game. We need some people that just kind of know basketball inside and out. Can you just come play the game for 8 hours a day, give us feedback at the end of the day, and just do that every single day during the summer? And so that was my first introduction to video games.
Jesus, did they even pay you for that?
They got us Subway every single day, and probably like $7 an hour, but it was the best summer job ever. Playing video games, playing sports, video games. Oh!
Exactly, oh!
And so that's how I got introduced to the world of video games, never thinking that it would be sort of what I ended up doing for a career. But, a lot of people, back then, when I got in 1999, 2000, and sports games are just really starting to take off. A lot of us, kind of leading franchises right now are just guys who are really big into sports and just brought that kind of the sporting knowledge to the world of software development. So that's kind of how we got in, just your knowledge of sports. People always ask like what I went to school for to do, and psychology degree. So go figure.
Really? So I guess my next question was going to be, what was the job you almost did? Psychologist?
No, I'm not sure actually. I never got that far to figure it out. I'm not sure what number 2 would have been, to be honest. I probably would have continued playing basketball a little bit longer. When I got my first real job in games, I'd come back from playing overseas, my first kind of pro contract, and was waiting for my next contract to come through, and ended up getting a contract at Radical doing some stuff, and I loved it. So it kind of raised the stakes for the amount of money I wanted to go back and play basketball for. When I got into, I walked in the doors of Radical, and I literally walked in right in downtown Vancouver. Walked in, there's no dress code, so people are in shorts and t-shirts, a wall full of food, a fridge full of drinks, and a keg full of beer. And I was like, this is work? People call this work. And you make video games all day? I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Sounds pretty perfect.
Yeah, sounds pretty good. I think I can get used to this.
Could you beat LeVar Ball in a game of one-on-one?
I would take my chances.
Yeah?
Yeah. How about you?
No, I couldn't beat anybody in one-on-one. I had this neighbor growing up named Brian, lived across the street from me. He was like 6 years older. I think I just tied it up. I want to brag right now. Wow.
We got a game.
Yeah, and then the period's going to end, and then I'm toast.
Oh!
I think I just killed Finn.
Yeah.
I had this neighbor across the street. He was like 5, 6 years older than me. and we would play 21 every day of the summer. And I notoriously beat him once, our entire combined childhoods. Once, and he followed it up with, like, that just lit a fire under him.
Yeah.
He won 21-0. I might have shot the ball twice in the next game. And he'd never let that little boy beat him ever again.
That's hilarious.
So I had my confidence in basketball crushed at a very young age. So what was your big burning question heading into this year when it came to the game?
So with threes specifically, right? Our goal with threes was to create this kind of fast-paced, hard-hitting experience that hopefully brought back a lot of people, a lot more casual fans, and hoping that it would also resonate with our core fans as well. So we want to make sure that we had sort of depth there, which is why we have 3 different ways to play threes. You can play it online, you can play it offline like we're playing right now.
I think I lost.
That might be the win.
Yeah, I lost.
You can play it online, team play. This is campaign, so lots of depth with it. And usually when, for your core fans, when you say you're not working on the thing they want you to work on, they're like, why are you working on that other thing? And especially something like threes that has a lot more casual appeal. We just played a game with mascots. It was trying to win those guys over and make them understand that the experience is still super competitive. You still have a lot of fun with it, and it can be as competitive as our EA Sports Hockey. They're one of the core modes, and so you never really know how it's going to play out. You do all your research and all that kind of stuff, and then the beta came out. Our Game Changers is our first kind of taste of what our core fans are going to think. So I pitched this to them very early, before Christmas last year, and they're like, yeah, I don't know, not really for us. I'd rather work on puck physics and a lot of more core things, defensive skill stick, awesome. They came back kind of midway through development. They're like, okay, I can kind of see how some people are going to like this, but not us. But some people are going to like this. And they came back and played it before the beta, helped us tune our gameplay settings for the beta. And they're like, this is pretty fun. This could be, the most competitive mode in NHL. So good early feedback there. And the beta went out there, and now, mostly core fans are playing your beta. And to see them having a great time with it. More games were played in threes than were played in the EA Sports Hockey League in our beta. And so to get that positive feedback and just reinforcing that, the direction that we were going and really wanted to resonate with all our fans, core and casual, and start to see that positive feedback was fantastic. So that was, the biggest thing for us to see was just, how do we create that experience enough depth that all of our fans can enjoy it, not just super casual people that maybe haven't played the game in many years. And so with EA Access and people playing the game and people playing the game today for the first time, the feedback continues to be really positive. But that was sort of the one big question for us, is just how the experience was going to resonate with all of our fans. Because we knew we were building it more for the casual fan in mind, and hope that our core fans experience the level of competition we're trying to build into it. But you never really know until people get their hands on it and play it. So.
Right. Well, and it makes sense that 3-on-3 was extremely popular in the beta. One, it's the new feature.
That's right. Yeah.
It's all I played.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that I played.
And so many people have said that, and even people who play the game religiously year after year said, I never thought 3 was going to be for me, and I played the beta, and that's all I played in the beta. And I grabbed my buddies and brought them over. I haven't played NHL games in many years. Come over and they played it, which is exactly what we wanted, to create sort of that couch experience. It's funny when we talk to people early on about sports games or games in general, to be honest, and NHL or FIFA or Madden or 2K or the show or whatever it is. People talk about their experience playing sports games today, and they literally hold the controller, like pretend to hold the controller in their hand, and like, man, I put my time in. They just like literally clench up when they talk about sports games today. I put my time in, I get good, and typically when you play sports games, you're competitive. You play, you put your time in so you can be better than your buddy and not get smack talked to. And then we talk about, well, what about experience to bring you into the world of hockey, which you haven't played for many years, something more casual? Like, what would you want? He's like, and they literally start talking about. And their body language literally like lean back. Man, I remember playing NHL 94. Man, I remember playing NBA Jam or Blitz. And literally they lean back and smile on their face, and their body relaxes, and they talk about, reminisce about those experiences. And that's what we tried to capture with threes. But it was fascinating just seeing like the body language of people when they talk about our sports games today relative to sports games of the past. And a lot of, it's a reason why a lot of more casual sports gamers aren't playing sports games anymore, is because of that, and the amount of time they need to put in to be good to compete with their buddies. So we just want to create an experience. We sit on a couch and play with mascots and have some fun.
Yeah, it is just good, silly fun.
Yeah.
How did you, like, at some point, because I know you spent a lot of time, I'd say probably particularly between like NHL 12 and this one,
Yeah.
like really trying to perfect like puck physics, moving. You know when you make a turn, you don't want to turn like a boat. You want to kind of turn naturally.
Yeah.
But in the process, you made a really realistic game. But do you feel like you got away from the stupid, silly fun?
Yeah, you know what? It's a conversation we have all the time. It's a super fine balance between more realism and losing just general fun factor. And people always say, well, the game's not realistic because sticks go through legs. And we've played with sticks not going through legs, and it's really not fun because you just don't have the fidelity on the controller to actually dangle around the guy's legs the way that you want to do it, or dangle around every little skate blade or whatever it is. So it's a fine balance between authenticity and just making sure that the gameplay experience is fun. So we have that conversation with pretty much every feature we put in the game around realism. But yeah, it's definitely something we got to consider.
I don't think it's just sports games.
Yeah.
I think it's all games. I grew up loving video games.
Yeah.
It was, all parents have the thing that they have to bribe their kids with. And for me, it was video games. If I was bad and I got grounded, they took away my video games.
Gotcha.
And that got my attention,
Yeah.
right? But at some point, I was just like, I actually can't put in the time to compete with these 12-year-olds who are destroying me every day.
Yeah.
For Hut, I remember I got up to, I think I got all the way up to 3.
Yeah.
What is it, rank 3 or tier 3 or
Division 3 probably.
Division 3? Yeah, sorry. I got all the way up to Div 3.
Which
I was
solid.
playing
Really good.
Dude, I was playing like 2 or 3 hours every day.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I got to Div 3, and I think I lost 12 straight games. Went all the way down to Div 5, and I don't think I ever played HUD ever again. I was just like, I can't do it.
It kind of makes the point around 3. And for 3s, we're trying to create that other experience, right? So, okay, I don't want to go back in and play HUT because I haven't put my time in. I'm probably not as good at the game as I once was when I got to Div 3. But my buddies are over. Let's put 3s in, and we just sit back and have some fun. And it doesn't really matter really who wins or loses. We're going to have a good time smack talking one another. And so, yeah, I mean, I literally played the game for the first time against consumers the other night. And I may or may not have won. In fact, I lost badly. And these kids are pulling off all the new moves we have in the game to like perfect execution. It's unbelievable how quickly people get really good at the game.
Do you ever stop and consider how big of a part of people's lives this game is? Because I've scored goals in NHL '99 that I remember.
Yeah.
I still remember how it made me feel. It was like the Leafs scoring a playoff goal.
Yeah, it's amazing, and people, especially now with social media, people can reach out to you with their stories and stuff like that. There's a guy who tweeted me this morning. He sent me a picture last year, and he's like, "Can you please send me a couple packs?" He's like, "Play with my father who's 70+ years old." I'm like, and he plays EA Sports Hockey League. Like, really? He goes, "Yeah, I'll show you a picture of us playing." And he started sending videos and pictures of him and his dad playing. His dad's 70+ years old and playing EA Sports Hockey League together. That's what they do. That's how they bond, is playing EA Sports Hockey League. So there's stuff like that. There's we do a lot of like Make-A-Wish events and stuff like that with kids who are less fortunate or struggling. And if they're bedridden, they sit and they play NHL all day. That's their form of entertainment because they can't go outside and run around with their friends. So yeah, it's unbelievable when you take a step back and just kind of realize how many people around the world are playing NHL and how such a big part of our lives the game has become. Because we just think about a video game that we make every single day, but when you think about the time and the hours and the way that people are using it for entertainment or to get through tough days or whatever it is, it's unbelievable.
What's one of your more specific memories when it comes to that? Going to a hospital or whatever it may be.
So we went to Canucks Place and did some stuff there. I mean, probably the saddest story is people, like I said, people who are bedridden will just play nothing but NHL. To the point where they're on their way out, and the thing they want to take with them on their way out is their controller because they played so much NHL.
Wow.
So you get to stories like that, and you realize you're making more than just a game. So we get we get messages from kids all the time, and we try to do as much stuff as much as we can too, knowing that hopefully we're putting a smile on some people's faces every once in a while and helping them get through some hard times. So that's sort of the deeper side of the game that we make.
I didn't mean to get that deep.
No, but it's and I when I got in the industry, I never thought of the industry or games in that way, in the way that it potentially can impact people's lives. So yeah.
Wow. You want to do like a shootout?
So a shootout would be
all right.
Would be good.
We got a shootout coming.
Let's go. We can shoot out.
Would be,
All right.
Be good.
We got a shootout coming. Let's go. Sorry, I took control there. I forgot you had the power controller.
Go ahead.
I gotta let.
No.
How hard of a time did you have locking up Connor McDavid this year as the cover guy?
Not hard at all. Not hard. And you know, we've done cover vote typically in the past, and what we tried to do this year with the product around just capturing the speed and the skill and the creativity and the youthful energy of the kind of the kids coming into the league this year. Every time we talked about what we wanted the product to represent, we're like, Connor McDavid was the guy for it. So yeah, he was the guy that we were talking about. All of our early presentations had McDavid on there just as the perfect representation of what we were trying to achieve with everything we're doing with the game. And so we reached out to him, and it was pretty quick. It was a no-brainer.
I guess you've worked on NHLs that had expansion teams, right?
This is the first time. So I was telling someone yesterday, moving from 30 teams to 31 teams was actually a massive amount of work for us because our game wasn't set up to allow for expansion.
Oh!
So all of our code had to be reworked, and that's why you can add a 32nd team and create it yourself. So in knowing that we had to bring Vegas in, we had started our feature very, very early because it was a ton of work. And pretty happy with the way it turned out.
A couple of years ago, we had Morgan Riley and Max Pacioretty showing us. Whoop. You hooked them up to all those like little light bulb sensor things.
That's right. Yeah.
Did you get anyone new for this year, and have you gotten any goalies to take part?
So it's interesting. So it's tough for us to do motion capture with NHL players because typically when we do it, it's in the November, December, January timeframe. So during the season, it's tough. So last year, 2 years ago now, I guess we had Eddie Lack come out and he did mocap during the season, which was fantastic. Something he'd never done before.
During the season?
During the season, between.
Oh, come on!
Between 2 game days too, so it was awesome. So a lot of our goalie motion is from Eddie himself, who's a huge fan of the franchise. No new NHL players this year. Some of the new Deeks though, we got Pavel Barber in there. A lot of people know Pavel Barber, his YouTube videos and his sick hands. So a lot of the moves are from him.
The moves are from him?
From Pavel, yeah.
He's pretty gross.
Yeah.
I can't believe I just missed with Patrick Marleau. I'm surprised he's even on the Leafs.
This isn't even for lack of trying. Like, I've been bad, but like,
You've had a few legit scoring chances. I'm going to try the slapper again.
Oh, you kidding
And
me?
that's how round 10 of the shootout.
so dumb.
Awesome. Let's go between the legs or do a Datsu or just a slap shot.
It's just Freddie, you know. He's worth that $5 million a year. I've been trying to tell people.
Any other thoughts on your fruits of your labor there on the game?
No, just fantastic year, and excited for people to start playing it on Friday. Lots to offer with the new Deeks and the defensive skill stick for gameplay. NHL 3 is a new way to play. Franchise expansion draft, request to trade and be a pro. Just lots of stuff in the game this year. So fans got a lot of fun. Pick it up Friday.
And we sort of talked about this last year with you can set hot dog prices and all that.
Oh yeah.
Now my big sore spot is alleviated. You got threes back in the game. Where do you go from here?
Good question. Come back next year, and I'll tell you exactly where we're going to go. We're working on that stuff We're working on that right now. So one of our challenges is putting a new game out every single year with lots of new stuff for people to play. So for us, we started thinking about 19 for about 3 months already, just trying to lock in the vision and get moving on it. So lots of good ideas right now. We'll see where we land.
Thinking about 19, it's not even 2018 yet.
Crazy.
Unreal. Well, Rammer, appreciate it.
The legend.